Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Absolver. It's on PC and most major consoles. Absolver is a martial arts action role-playing game developed by Slowclap. In Absolver, you play as a faceless warrior who must embark on a martial arts journey through a strange world as you defeat bosses, learn new combat moves, and gather up collectibles. The game can be played solo or online in co-op or competitive modes. Okay, gameplay. Well, once you've gone through the very limited character creator, it's off into the game world to explore. As you explore the different areas, you'll encounter unique foes specific to those regions. And as your search continues, you'll finally encounter the marked ones, who are the core bosses that you've got to defeat to progress the core story. So let's talk about the martial arts combat. For the most part, it's a smooth and fluid affair with light or heavy attacks. These attacks have added variety because your character can change fighting stance depending on your position. Different stances produce different moves, and you really have to adapt and think on your feet when you're facing many different foes. You can dodge, block, evade, use your available stamina and keep tabs on your health to manage the combat. One issue I had was how painful the core controls felt, in particular when you're dealing with multiple targets and switching between them. It's very cumbersome, it's fiddly, it's awkward on the controller, and ultimately it takes a big chunk of enjoyment out of those group fights. That is something that the devs improved greatly in their next game, Sifu, but in this one didn't quite work. Now as you fight, you'll earn currency for each defeated foe. If you earn enough, you will level up, meaning you can meditate and then choose what stats you want to increase. As you progress up the levels, you can learn new moves. You can join a school that's been created by other players and use their deck of moves. It's a nice touch, but I have to say, it's not quite as cool as it sounds. Your loadout can be altered with a variety of clothing, armor, and also weapons at times. Enemies drop loot as well. There's treasure chests, there's hidden ways to find things. You can find shards. The shards you can use to buy gear at the store, but I would say the store, my word, overpriced rubbish. Takes about 10 years to save up for a bloody mask. Anyway, there's also multiplayer, as I said. You can play co-op, you can play versus. Now, it's probably at its best played multiplayer because as a solo experience, I'd say this is quite mind-numbing. Visually, it's got soft pastel shaded styling, very pleasant looking, very peaceful. It's not going to blow you away, but it's got a nice feel to it, akin to Sifu, akin to games like Ashen and things like that. But there are still glitches present, like there's a time of day issue when you move from one biome to another. It's like time lapse. It's very strange. The sound work is fine, although I can't say it's memorable. The music didn't really stay with me, but also it didn't annoy me either. It was just kind of there. I can barely remember it if I'm completely honest. Okay, verdict. Absolver is a game that sounds really good when you explain the structure and the systems at play. But sadly, the actual experience of the game, it never reaches that level of quality. Instead, it becomes a fairly slow grind of mundane repeated combat with only the customizable movesets to keep you engaged. Saying that, I enjoyed it in short bursts, but after any prolonged period, it was quite dull. Sifu was the next game by this team, and I would say Sifu is a great example of how a developer has learnt from one game to the next because it was more fluid, satisfying, and user-friendly. Now that's not to say that Absolver doesn't have its charms, but those charms are quite limited, and I wouldn't say it's a game I would recommend unless you are desperate for another game in the combat genre, the martial arts genre, and you see it in the sales. Scoring, Absolver gets 6 out of 10. That is my review. Thank you for watching. This is PG. Cheers.